Hey, Tiller family, it's Tim, your oldest but also newest Tiller coach. I'm here in the Tiller office, got the orange wall behind me, and I'm happy to bring to you my first Tiller tip. Really excited to share with you. I was reading not too long ago in Daniel chapter 3. You may be familiar with the story. Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, three young men who had defied a decree. King Nebuchadnezzar was the king back in that day, an incredible ruler, also very vain. He had issued a decree. He had built an idol to himself and issued a decree that everyone was to bow down to that idol. And these three young men, Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, said, "O king, you are awesome, but we are not going to bow down to your idol." And Nebuchadnezzar got really ticked off and ordered that they were to be thrown into this fiery furnace. And in fact, he was so angry with them that he ordered that the heat in that furnace was to be turned up 7 times hotter than what it normally is. And King Nebuchadnezzar is sitting back. He's watching this whole thing unfold. His guards bind up Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego. Now, we don't know what they were bound with. It could have been ropes. It could have been, zip ties, bungee cords, whatever it was. They were in bondage at that point, right? They were tied up literally from head to toe and tossed into this super hot, fiery furnace. And Daniel chapter 3 tells us that Nebuchadnezzar observed 2 things after they were thrown into the fiery furnace. One was that whatever they were bound up with was gone. It had been, those ropes or zip ties or whatever were completely gone. And the second thing that Daniel chapter 3 tells us is that Nebuchadnezzar observed that there was a 4th man in the fire with them. And we believe that that 4th man was Jesus, and that Jesus had actually been in that fire with them. He could have untied whatever it was that had them in bondage. Not sure how all of that played out, but the end result was that they went into the fire, their bonds were broken, and Jesus was in there with them. And so what's the takeaway for this? Well, for me, it was kind of this notion that sometimes we have to walk into the fire, the very thing that we're struggling with, the very thing that is hurting us. Sometimes we have to walk into that fire in order for the ropes or whatever it is that has us in bondage to be burned up or torn away or separated, right? But then the other thing that's important to note here for me is that we're not doing that alone. That when we make that decision to step into that fire, to step towards the very things that are keeping us in bondage, that Jesus is there to meet us, that he wants to release us from that bondage, and that he doesn't leave us to our own devices to accomplish that, that he's in the midst of that with us to help free us, to help bring us courage, and to help carry us through to the other side. So Shadrach, Meshach, and Abednego, they made it to the other side. King Nebuchadnezzar pulled them out, patted them on the back. It really led to a significant transformation for him. But it also leaves us with this extremely valuable lesson, which is we can be freed from bondage by Jesus, the very God who wants to meet us in the midst of that fire if we just take that step of faith and move into that fire with him. So take courage from that. I hope that you will be encouraged by that. If there is something that has you in bondage, if there's a sin pattern, if there's just self-doubt, whatever it is that has you in bondage right now, reach out to us. I would love to spend time with you, to work with you, and to walk with you through that bondage, through that expectation gap, and just to encourage you and point you to Jesus, who wants to be in that fire with you to free you from that bondage. So enjoy that. Hope you find encouragement from it. Would love to see you, and we will see you again here very soon. Take care.